Hello guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Facilities Management Exchange. Yes, they've let us back. We got to do a second recording. On today's episode, you're going to hear from the fantastic Ciara Murphy, the fantastic Charlie Massy-Reed, and the absolutely incomparable Zoe Bond 007. We're going to delve into loads of interesting subjects. We're going to talk about COVID, how that impacted the industry, and how things have moved on since we took the masks off several years ago. Don't miss today's episode. You will enjoy it, I promise. And as ever, we talk about AI. A little bit, not as much. They don't kill us this time. See you soon.
Don't think that you can't do it.
I think it just increases the capabilities that we have.
Don't originally know when to go into teaching.
And their faces just dropped, like they looked like the ground was ready to open them up.
And then something changed. What changed?
The realisation that everyone's got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 2 of the Facilities Management Exchange. It's great to have you all join us once again. And my God, have I got an exciting show for you today. I am joined by some absolute legends, and I mean legends, of the facilities management industry. I'd like to introduce you to Ciara Murphy, Village Operations Manager of Derwent. Hi, Ciara.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's all right. Have you had a good day?
Yeah, busy day.
You're looking pretty dapper,
Yeah.
I must say.
Oh, thank you.
Looking rather beautiful there, which is always good to see.
Oh, you're a charmer.
Oh, no. Well, my wife wouldn't say that. We've got Zoe Bond 007 from DJ Foley. How you doing? You well?
Very well, thank you.
Have you had a good day?
I've had a very good day, thank you.
You've come all the way
Excellent day.
from where today?
From Bristol.
Bristol. You know what that means, guys? We're going to talk about buildings that aren't in London, which is exactly what this podcast is about. Facilities management across the UK and the world, hopefully, one day. And we're also joined by the incomparable Charlie Massy-Reed. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Charlie's the head of FM at Clutton's LLP, one of the oldest property management companies in the UK. I'm right saying that, Anna?
It is indeed, yeah.
Yeah. How's your day been?
Yeah, it's been a busy one, but yeah exciting, so can't complain.
Where have you been today?
Started off down in Brighton, a couple of risk assessments down there, then back up into London for a couple of client meetings. And
all the
then
exciting stuff then.
trekking over London to come and meet you here today. So,
Yeah. No, Charlie decided to join us on quite short notice, actually. I think I texted you when? It was last week, wasn't it?
It was indeed, yeah.
Yeah. But Charlie's a fan of the show, so he's more than happy to come along and support, which is great. Okay, so great to have you all here today. So we're going to talk about several things across the facilities management sphere. But what I always like to find out of everybody is, how did you end up in this crazy world of facilities management? So Ciara Murphy, or Ciara, as I like to call you.
You have so many names for me. It's
I
hilarious.
know. Rex is the best one. You know.
Okay, a lot of people know me and the story about Rex.
We do need to get that story out into the podcast. Actually, I think that deserves a 3 or 4 minute slot.
Okay,
so crack on. Go on.
Which bit do you want me to tell you first?
Tell the entire story, because I think it's brilliant.
From going back 15, 20 years, I was working in the reception world, kind of evolved into service delivery for reception desks, where I was setting up reception desks from scratch in new buildings. And then somebody saw something in me, one of the clients at the time, and asked me to move into building management. And that's where my career really took off.
Yes.
I've had some amazing roles and some amazing buildings as well. And yeah, it's been developed from there. I'm currently Village Operations Manager for Derwent, and I'm only in week 3.
Yeah.
But it's more people management now and strategy, and really enjoying that.
You are enjoying it, yeah?
Yeah. So far, so good.
Yeah, good
and really good move. I'm really pleased.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
really positive. I'm so pleased for you.
But yeah, I will tell you the Rex story, but I don't want to hog the.
No, it's fine. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Don't worry, I will circle back here. Don't you worry about that.
I know you will.
Because there next story's coming out tonight, I tell you, without a doubt. Zoe, yourself, Associate Director at DJ Foley. So tell us a little bit about how you came into the crazy world of facilities management.
Yeah, so I started my career in hotel management.
Oh, really? So,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was lucky enough to do a couple of hotel openings in Bath and Bristol.
Yeah.
In front office.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I did a couple of openings and absolutely loved the sort of chaos and the building site and everyone sort of having to get together and get it done. And from that, I managed to transition into my first FM role, which was focused on expansion.
Oh, really?
So
when you say that, what do you mean focused on expansion?
So from the experience of launching the hotel openings, I was then able to move into the role where I was opening offices all across Europe. So my experience was, I was really lucky, really, that I was able to transfer it into that. And that was how I got into my first
That's fantastic.
FM role.
And sorry, do you mind telling me, how old are you? Because I do think this is relevant based on where you are now. Just tell the audience how old you are.
I'm 27.
27. So as you can see, that's quite young for such an interesting career so far across the facilities management field. So well done. Charlie, come on, mate. Tell us, how did you end up here?
So started off as security officer. So I had the joys of being a revolving security officer.
Right.
So being placed wherever they needed me whilst I was at university.
Oh, so you were kind of roving,
Exactly that.
providing cover and things like that, yeah?
Exactly that. So
Okay.
just part-time whilst I was at uni. Uni finished.
What did you do at uni, sorry?
Sports studies. So
Really?
nothing to do with property. So complete 180 really.
So what did you want to do? I always find it interesting. Like, what did you study for, and what did you want to do?
So originally I wanted to go into teaching.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really wanted to go into sports.
PE teacher.
PE teacher.
You just wanted to wear tight shorts, didn't you?
Pretty much. I love wearing my tight shorts. Tight shorts are good.
That's all I remember
Yeah.
about my PE teacher. He had the tightest shorts in the history of shorts. Yeah.
So yeah, that was the plan. When I'd done 2-week placement at my old secondary school, absolutely hated it. Couldn't
Right.
deal with kids, and thought, you know what,
Fair enough.
PE teacher's not for me. So thankfully got into security at the time. And then
Did you do anything around the Olympics or anything like that from school?
No, not at all. It was all corporate based.
Was it?
When I was doing security, so a lot of corporate buildings across London mainly.
Okay.
And then uni finished, and then got my first full-time security position
Right.
at Nexus building in Farringdon.
Yeah.
Got talking to the building manager there. Really liked the whole concept of what happens to keep a building running, etc.
Yeah.
Took a great interest in that.
Mm.
Tried to soak up as much as I could at the time.
Yeah.
And then she recommended me looking out there for FM roles, pushed me forward for an AFM role at the time.
Right.
All rest is history really.
And you've kind of been in it ever since. And you're
Pretty
quite young
much.
as well, aren't you? So how old are you?
I'm 32.
32.
Yeah,
Yeah, tough paper round then, yeah?
indeed. Yeah. Been a rough one.
I'm joking, mate. I'm joking. But it is really interesting that, everybody, like around this panel today, didn't necessarily start out in FM, but they ended up in it anyway, through various routes, whether it's via front of house receptionists such as yourself, Ciara, or hotels such as you, Zoe, or even security, well, PE teacher, actually. You came from way out the side, to be fair, but absolutely fantastic. So, Charlie, tell me, what's kept you interested in the world of facilities management to the point where you've decided, do you know what, I want to make a career out of this and I'm going to keep pushing forward?
I think for me it's the people.
Yeah.
I don't think I've met such a industry where people are so connected.
Yeah.
As you know, it's a small industry.
It is.
Everyone I've met to date, they're always willing to help, give you that bit of guidance.
Yeah.
Obviously, coming up through the ranks, I needed people beside me to obviously steer me in the right direction, should we say?
Yeah.
Had great mentors along the way.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it.
Because you're actually managing people now as well, aren't you? So you've actually got a team that you manage, and that can be challenging as well, like if you've not done it before and moved into it.
It is, and again, this is my first role, people management, and I must say, similar to Ciara, I really enjoyed the people management aspect of it. It brings obviously its own challenges, but I wouldn't change it. As I say to the team, nothing's a silly question. I'm always here, always on hand, trying to give them the guidance I got in my early stages.
Yeah. So what's it like working with a business that's been around for the amount of time that Clutton's has? Because I'm guessing that there's ways of doing things and things like that probably come from when the business started years ago. Do you how do you deal with those? Is it challenging? Is it fine? Is it evolved in the right kind of way?
Yeah, I'd say it's challenging, but we're now at that step now where we're trying to evolve as a business, trying to venture out into different avenues to get more business, certainly within the commercial sector. So the challenges are there, but as everything, we need to evolve as a company, as an industry as well. There's further new things coming into play. So
but sometimes having those older ways of doing things doesn't necessarily mean that they're the wrong way of doing things. You know, sometimes it just works, and if it just works, why not continue with it?
Exactly that. And I think that's why it works so well at Clutton's, because you've got that aspect, as you say, but you can also bring the technology side of things. Yeah,
the mix of the old and the new.
Exactly that.
I think that's brilliant, though. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Ciara, same question. Why have you been in it as long as you have? What keeps you engaged?
I'd love to come up with another answer other than the same as Charlie's, but it is about people.
Yes.
And we never ever forget that the reason we're doing it is for the people that are actually using the buildings as well.
Yes.
So, you know, every single person that's in and out of that building is essentially your customer. You're creating an environment, you're creating an experience. I look back and I think, some of those early days when I was a receptionist in a law firm for like 9 years in Ireland before I moved over here. And even then we were talking about, the experience of coming into a reception space. Yeah. And that I'm over here 20 years next year. So that was 25 years ago approximately that I was looking at that kind of how people perceive the welcome into a building, or how the building, acts and is, maintained properly, and all of that.
Breathes.
How it breathes, yes. And I, it is essentially about people. And I, like Charlie as well, I like to think that I can give back now. Yeah. Many years in the industry, and I want to be able to bring people up, and show them that you can come from reception background with, I didn't go to university, with, a secretarial course under your belt, and actually, and then be, at my level in the job that I'm doing today.
But that's fantastic though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it is one of those industries where you still have the capacity to do that.
Yeah, and we're still learning, there's constantly, different courses that you can do. And I just recommended a course to somebody recently for somebody junior. And, it's a constantly evolving, role where you can learn, and especially, as you said, and Charlie mentioned as well, about new technologies within buildings.
Yeah. Well, it's quite exciting time for that, isn't it?
It is,
to be fair, in terms of the future. So are there any differences between how, I know you didn't necessarily work in facilities in Ireland, but are there any differences in terms of how that space works? Is it
it's
similar?
Very, very similar. Yeah, the CBREs, all of the big names are in Ireland. The buildings, there has been a huge building growth, like influx of new properties being built in the last 10 years. Okay. New, high rise and mixed use developments in areas that have been regenerated around the river. Yeah. And I know that it's very similar. Back then, while I was in reception were always kind of involved in facilities admin within the company I was in as well. So
it's not
I always had a finger really in that, pie as such, kind of helping out. Yeah. Facilities were kind of integral to the reception role, because people will come to us with issues. Yeah. And then, it was about finding the right person to fix the issue.
I bet you were like one of the friendliest receptionists ever, to be fair. I didn't know you then, but I can imagine you just being incredibly welcoming and friendly.
Honestly, I used to be told that I talk too much.
Really? Yeah. Just let the guests in.
But it was because it was a law firm and they had like private clients and they had a lot of, big commercial clients. It was the same clients coming in. So they got to know you, and I was there 9.5 years. So it was like,
it's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. And, you get to know people by their name, so, and that's part of the the welcome and the experience, isn't it? So
yeah, of course, yeah. So what drove the move to London specifically?
So at the time, I was actually married to the head of facilities.
Right. Wow.
If he's listening to this, he'll know who he is. and
he who shall not be named.
And we won't name him.
Yeah.
And he was offered a job in the Gherkin. And at the time, 20 years ago, the Gherkin was like the building in London.
I remember, yeah.
It was the be all and end all. He was offered a job at the time in the Gherkin, and we moved over. He was originally from the UK.
Okay.
And we moved over, and he took that role, and I stepped up again into a role with Esure Insurance, and I was reception again, helping out with facilities as well there as well.
So we have him to thank for you.
I do have my ex-husband to thank for
play,
a lot of it.
I'm happy about that.
And when I walk past the Gherkin, I do give it a little kind of a nod, a little tip the hat and say,
cheers, mate.
Thank you. So that's that. Just a little story, but
that's fantastic. And Zoe, what about yourself? So obviously slightly different route. Why have you stayed in FM? Where do you see the benefits of it?
So I think this sort of experience piece that you touched on is the one thing that has stayed consistent throughout my career, be that in the hotel world and then throughout my various facilities roles.
Yeah.
And I suppose I hadn't really considered that behind the experience is, of course, the people. So I'm going to try not to say people as well.
Yeah.
But that sort of the ability to create memorable and outstanding experiences for people, be that in a hotel, in an office, and now in the spaces where people live, work, shop, all of the above.
Yeah.
I get a real sense of pride seeing people having fun, having a great time, and knowing that I played a part in that. That's really rewarding for me. So I suppose it does come back to people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what differences have you noticed in the commercial world as opposed to that sort of hotel hospitality client-centric space? Has there been...
Well, I mean, I think about this often, and I think it's a little bit difficult to tell because I moved out of the hospitality world just when things started to open back up after COVID.
Yeah.
And I'd noticed that the sort of guest and the sort of people that we were dealing with had shifted so much post-COVID that it felt like a whole nother world. And I struggled to know really whether it was that the world changed at that point and that the people, just the public, were different, or whether it was that shift out of hospitality and into the commercial property management world.
That's a very interesting way to look at it, actually.
You have two things going on, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've never been able to really know where the switch was.
I think that there's been a big shift, hasn't there? And sorry, actually, I'll just circle back to what you were saying. Like, when we first talked about giving a building a kind of the experience for the people using the building, it harks back to hospitality. It harks back to,
it does.
The 5-star hotels of this world who, they almost, know the guest as they're arriving. Yeah. They're thinking ahead as to what they might want, what they might need when they arrive. It is that. So it definitely a crossover for that.
100%.
And I do think our building users have changed since COVID. Obviously, that's a given.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably a difficult time for you to come into that industry as well.
It was interesting. I learned a lot in my first couple of years, definitely. I suppose I found the general public a little bit softer in the hospitality world, but again, I think it was pre-COVID. I think that the way that the public perceived people on the other end, staff at the hotels or people working on reception desks anywhere or facility staff, did feel completely different.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in a bad way.
Well, let's get into that. I actually think, do you know what? Let's get into that. How did COVID impact facilities management? That's an interesting conversation that I think we should chuck out to the panel. How was, obviously, Zoe's given us her thoughts on it. What about you? What changes or alterations aside from working habits and so on and so forth, which I think are commonplace?
The change in working, in hybrid working, yes. Yeah. That's just a given now.
Yeah, but what about people? What about people's attitudes?
They expect more in the office environment.
Do they?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
For less.
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
100%.
They're looking for, bean bags and,
Who doesn't love a bean bag?
That's just one example. I'm not trying to say bean bags are wrong, but they're looking for, soft furnishings and almost like they're back home in their living room in this kind of breakout space idea, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And, there are, lounge spaces and breakout spaces and,
that's kind of driving like the co-working space.
It is.
Driving that hotel feel to an office environment.
Absolutely. Like a business space, in a hotel.
Foosball table. All that stuff.
But there is an expectation of, snacks and it's because when we were working from home, you had everything on hand.
Yeah, that's very true. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, you just popped to the kitchen. I mean, much to the detriment of our bodies during that time.
Yeah, it didn't help me.
I look back and I think my desk was far too close to the kitchen.
The fridge.
Exactly. Put a lock on the fridge, please.
Yeah. Don't let me anywhere near it. And being able to order food as well. I think that's changed in the office. Like the amount of food that I see, because I go around everywhere in London in different buildings and so on and so forth. All I ever see is Deliveroo coming in all the time. And before COVID, whilst it was available, you didn't see it in the same way. Whereas now people are like, convenience.
Yeah.
It's really changed the mindset, I think, of people. Now, do we think that it's changed the mindset in a positive way? Or do we think that it's changed the mindset in a negative way? What do you think?
It's probably a bit of both, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think from the positive side of things, obviously well-being's now at the forefront of everyone's.
Completely agree. Yeah.
Everyone's looking for, as you say, those breakout spaces. They're looking to get out of the office a lot more throughout the course of the week, just to have those walks to clear their mind, refresh.
Yeah.
But I suppose the flip side of that is, it comes back to the cost element of our services or service offering. People are now working hybrid, so they're in maybe 2-3 days a week, so they don't necessarily see cleaning, for example, needing to be done 5 days a week. Well,
it's not a swear word these days, actually. It's actually an anagram, isn't it? So you can actually say it without being rude. But it's true, isn't it? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's kind of the days. But have you guys noticed this? I mean, I've noticed this. I don't know if any of you have, but I have noticed a bit of a drive back to the office.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you guys as professionals see that currently panning out across the industry? Do you think it's happening well, or do you think there's resistance to it, or what do you think?
I think it's happening well. I think we were so well
anti it.
We were stuck, wasn't we, at one stage? So
after COVID, I suppose we probably were a bit indoctrinated into like that way of thinking that you want us back in the office, okay, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but actually I look back now and I say, these companies are paying high rent, no matter where they are, whether they're in Bristol, whether they're in Maidenhead, whether they're in London, they're paying high rent no matter based on the area they're in. They want bums on seats. They want those people in the office. They want to see them. They're paying service charge. They're paying their their rents. They have that space. They're not like, they're not just paying for that for a letterhead.
No,
the
address, the London address.
They want to see their people, and they want them to be able to collaborate and and be part of something, a team, that is pushing forward. It's I think I've seen improvement in it for sure. Whether we'll ever get there at 5 days a week the way it used to be, I don't know.
I don't know if we ever will.
I think it works quite nicely now, doesn't it? You got the
there seems to be a good balance.
Yeah.
And I think as well that if you look at your work-life balance, people are able to collect their kids sometimes, their doctor's appointments sometimes. It kind of works, I think, for them. It certainly works for me. I mean, I've done this for 20 odd years. So I was doing like hybrid working for a long time before COVID, so I didn't notice anything apart from Teams calls, which are annoying, aren't they? You know, they are annoying. You know, like, I find them really, really difficult. But it didn't feel like a transition for me. Everything is still the same. So I find it really interesting when I speak to other people that were perhaps like office based for 10, 15, 20 years, however long that might have been. I find their adjustment to it far more interesting than what my adjustment to it was. And I think anybody who had a hybrid role before COVID would probably agree with that, because people did struggle to adjust. They really did. And I had a really interesting conversation on episode 1 of the podcast with a young girl called Ella Gladwin. And what she actually said in the podcast is she was actually at school during COVID. And she said what happened after COVID, because of the lockdowns, is there was 2 groups within young people. You had people that was really, really confident and could come out and deal with themselves, or then you had other group that just retired into themselves. So you had confident people and non-confident people, and there was nothing in between. And that's what the lockdowns did. And I thought that's quite an interesting statement. You know, did we perhaps see something similar across the adult population from a work perspective? I honestly don't know the answer to that. I'm chucking it out for you guys to thrash it out in your big brains. And
I remember when we were brought back into the office at MAP, at head office.
Yeah.
We were given traffic light stickers.
Yeah.
Green, orange, or red.
Really?
And we were told we could wear the stickers. And red was obviously, please don't touch me, don't come near me, stay at arm's length distance away from me. Orange was, you know, I'm happy for you to kind of sit and have a discussion with me. And green was like, I'm definitely open to shaking your hand, or, you know, actual human touch.
So what were you in terms of your traffic light?
I was green.
Yeah.
You know, I the way I saw it was, you know, I'm here.
Yeah.
We're inside the office.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll matter.
No.
We're all inside. So
Yeah.
I don't think it'll matter. You know, we're still going to pick up germs off each other the way you would a common cold, you know.
Well, if you go on the tube, that's it. Isn't it?
Exactly.
You know, you're in an environment where you've got no real option, to be fair. And what about you two? What would you be? Would you be red, amber, green?
We actually had the exact same in my first FM role. We had lanyards.
Really?
And yeah, red, orange and green. Green was like, come and hug me. And red was like, stay away.
Get away.
Yeah.
So what were you then, Zoe? After that whole... There's no right or wrong answer on that either, I don't think at all, you know.
I was orange. Yeah. I was a little bit wary. I had... My grandparents weren't very well at the time.
Understandable.
I was orange. I was still going into the office. I'd done... sort of the transition back in, I was very much red, but without the lanyard, staying away from everyone. And then it reached a point where it was, like you just said, in the office every day, you can only do so much. Yeah. And I just kind of had to accept it. So I stayed orange pretty much until things had gotten back to semi-normal, until we stopped wearing masks and all of the rest of it.
Okay. And Charlie, what about you?
Green, I'd say. I was just bored of the whole being locked up and wanted to get out there and have that personal touch, personal interaction. It just, for me, it opened up. Because you would have both been very young, actually. Because I think you forget how it was actually quite a while ago. We forget that. It's right there, and we remember it like it was yesterday, but it was quite a while ago. To be fair, you know.
Yeah, so 5 years have gone by, and
it's crazy,
you know,
isn't it?
You think it'll be 6 next year? You know, it's just we'll soon be 10, and we'll be like, oh, remember that time?
Well, we'll be our grandparents.
We hope we never have to go through it again.
Yeah, during COVID, we'll be saying it. You kids haven't lived. You know what I mean? When I was your age, I was wearing a mask.
Because how old is your little one?
So my little one is 4.
So she wasn't even around when she was born.
She was actually. So I mean, Abby's. I call her a COVID baby. I remember joking with my saying, you know, what should we call her? And I'm like, what about Corona? You know, COVID. You know. Okay. So yeah. So that's kind of it, really. So it's weird. I still think it's weird, COVID. I think what happened during COVID was weird in terms of what it did to not just people's jobs and roles and things like that, but just society on the whole. I look back at it now, I'm like, that was just mental. I remember going into Oxford Street and things like that, and there just been no people anywhere. I actually quite liked it, actually. It was quite nice.
I drove in to London during COVID to inspect buildings.
Really?
And it took me less than an hour from Kent at the time where I lived.
Yeah.
I also drove to sites in Bracknell, Maidenhead. Driving on the M25 with no car in front of me and no car behind me is probably the weirdest thing that ever.
It was just odd.
It was just, and inspecting empty buildings as well. You know, it still had to be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just very.
I bet it was
very
actually
strange.
quite scary going into some of the larger properties.
We had to make a phone call to somebody when we were going in.
Yeah.
And then a phone call when we came out. Eventually we got an app to manage that for us, where you checked in on the app.
Yeah.
Said you were going to be approximately an hour and then checked out once you were done.
Well, because fundamentally we were key workers, weren't we? You know, because buildings needed to be cleaned, they needed to be inspected, you know, safety was still a precaution and so on and so forth. But I suppose from a professional perspective, going through it as an FM, what a great thing to go through in that sense, you know, from a professional development perspective.
100%. My first year as an FM was 2020.
Really?
Yeah, I was a multi-site building manager up until January 2020.
Multi-site.
I had like three buildings, then I had multiples.
Yeah.
And that was the year of COVID.
Yeah.
So it was,
they were having COVID babies. So
it was like, it was literally multiplied in buildings and in germs.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, cool. All right, so COVID, what an interesting time, you know, to just to be alive. For me, it was just, like I said, mental. And fingers crossed we never go through anything like that again. So, obviously the purpose of the podcast, guys, is to inspire the next generation of facilities management professionals. You know, we're very passionate about that here at FMX. That's why we've created this vehicle. What advice would you give to somebody looking to enter the industry? You know, talk about it as a panel if you want to. Like, how would you, if you were speaking to little Ciara and little Ciara was starting a job in the FM. I love that. I love saying it. I will never stop. Ciara. I can't even see your name properly now. It's in there. What advice would you give to that person 25 years ago, I suppose?
Don't think that you can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have any formal training. And I look back at myself as a young 20-something.
Yeah.
I was working for a software house in Ireland at the time before I went to the law firm. Yeah. And I would literally ask people if they needed help. Really? I was just one of those people like who just wanted to be doing and learning.
So quite inquisitive. Yeah.
I we helped out in the marketing department. I helped out in the facilities department, you know, and I was the receptionist and I just wanted to learn about different things. And I look back now and I think that just cements where I am today.
Yeah.
Because I often go around looking at like getting the engineer to show me something they're doing.
Yeah.
So that I understand the piece of work that they're talking about when I go into a meeting with them and think, oh yeah, that's that valve or whatever you were replacing. Sometimes I just ask to see it. Just bring me down when you have
show me the valve,
the cover off. Do you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think that you're not capable is the advice I would give.
And continue to be inquisitive.
Yeah,
I suppose.
And I'm still inquisitive.
Yeah.
Oh
yes, you are. I know that.
Yeah. I want to learn. I want to. And I'm early 50s. I still want to learn. I want to keep going. And you know, there's a lot more that I can learn because there's so much new technology coming in. And, you know, the young people today, they don't know how good they have it when they're starting off with all this new technology.
No, I know.
I sound really old saying that. But,
no, I'm with you. I'm the same. Internet of things and all that stuff. Back in the day, I had to do it myself.
Yeah. You know, we learned to type on an actual manual typewriter.
Exactly. Yeah. I had a Amiga 500 for Christmas once when I was a kid. You know, so I understand. And Charlie, what about yourself? If you could jump in the FMX time machine, whiz back a few years, speak to little Charlie, what would you say to him?
I think it would be similar to what Ciara said, just be a sponge, soak up as much information as you can. We're quite fortunate in the industry we're in. There's so many experts within the field in their different service lines. And again, it goes back to everyone's helpful. Everyone's looking to help one another. So ask the right questions. As I say, nothing's a silly question.
Yeah.
If you don't ask, you'll never find out. So just keep asking those questions and soaking it up.
Soak it up, mate.
Soak it up.
Bob Square.
Exactly that.
Yeah. Who lives in a pineapple under You can tell I've got a 4-year-old, can't you?
Yeah.
And Zoe, what about yourself? Would you give similar advice, or would there be anything that you would like to drop in?
I think definitely looking back, I don't think I realised at the beginning of my career just how valuable the people around me were.
Yeah.
And particularly, I think back to my sort of first time in a management role, and it's all about proving yourself and showing that you can do the job and all of the rest of it.
Yeah.
And I wish that I'd spent more time in those roles rather than trying to prove myself and trying to beat down my imposter syndrome and all of the rest of it. Just listening to the people around me and just taking it in. And the minute that I sort of gave into that and started doing it, my career completely changed. Everything became easier.
Right.
When I didn't know something, there was no sort of, I don't know, I've got to try and figure it out. It was just somebody helped me, and suddenly it was 10 times easier.
Fake it till you make it is old Richard
definitely.
Branson said. Just say, if someone gives you an opportunity, just say yes and figure out I'll do it later. That's been my career. It really has, without a doubt.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
Okay. That's really interesting. So you mentioned imposter syndrome. What changed for you in relation to that? Because, obviously it was an issue for you, and then something changed. What changed?
The realisation that everyone's got it.
Yeah, that's very true.
100%.
So true.
Yeah. It was all of these people that I had have so much respect for.
Yeah.
Having these conversations with them about my imposter syndrome, and I don't feel like I can do this, and what if I don't know that? Them telling me that they feel exactly the same. Yeah. It's suddenly like, oh my goodness. So I'm probably always going to feel like this. So I might as well. It probably means nothing.
We are all literally just trying to get through the day. Aren't we? We all are. But I think FM is quite an interesting, because it is all problem solving. You got to think outside the box in this space, don't you?
Yeah.
What's the most interesting, complex issue you've had to figure out in your career?
Gosh,
that's a question.
It wasn't an issue, but it was. I can give you two really interesting examples. Had a sprinkler head go off in a space that was newly fitted out, and they were moving in that weekend, and they hit the sprinkler head while they were bringing something in, and there was no stopping it. Once it's gone, it's gone. Set off. It has to drain. Yeah. There's no getting away from that. And that was, I was on holiday. So I had a call from the person who was covering me to say that this had happened. I thought it was hilarious, but also, not happy that the water then was going to go down to the next floor below. But they managed to put tarps down and stop that. Yeah. And then the other example was over Christmas, one year, it was 2010, that really, really cold, wintry, snowy Christmas.
I remember it,
In December, we had like early snow.
Yeah, we did, I remember that.
We had this big building in Crawley, had its own kind of energy centre on the grounds. So the plant wasn't in the building, it was across the road from the building, essentially, where there was a car park for the building and then this energy centre. Yeah. And all of the pipe work in the ground was not insulated properly, and it was the first time that it ever happened. And the building was 40 years old, but obviously something gave, and the pipework froze and burst. So we had to shut down the building. So and so all of the occupiers had to enable their emergency response. Where they the building, where they moved to another space. I can't think of what it's called now, so sorry. When they basically they had to have a space ready to go to.
Pipe shelter?
I can't think what's it called. Anyway, they basically had to move to other space.
We're going underground.
And they, we had to get people in to do emergency work over Christmas. There was even somebody working on Christmas Day.
Oh no.
So, and that they're two situations, but that's just how diverse.
But it's FM, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair. What about you two?
I would definitely say mine, I think, has been cultural rather than anything operational. The hardest thing for me to crack. So my first FM role, first experience with FM, I was responsible for 7 countries.
Wow.
And up until then, I'd only ever done projects in the UK. And then suddenly I was dealing with all these different countries, nothing outside of Europe. But even so, how much the culture differs across Europe is massive.
Well, that's the charm of Europe, isn't it?
Oh my gosh,
the fact that, there's so many cultures and they're all kind of smashed together as well, isn't it? It's quite an interesting.
And seeing how they overlap where you wouldn't expect, sort of going country to country and things that you wouldn't notice. And you've spent X amount of time in this country and then you go into another country and think, oh, you get that from you. And
there's several languages spoken.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I always remember being really surprised by my colleagues in Latvia and Lithuania communicate in Russian. Yeah. But they're so close to each other. The countries are so close to each other, but they don't speak the same language. Right. And the only way that they can communicate is Russian.
That's cracking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
That must have been quite eye-opening, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So was it the cultural elements of the languages, or was it, when you say cultural elements, what do you...
I would say everything from the way that the contractors work to the way that the landlords and the managing agents treat you to how the staff perceive you and treat you to what's acceptable in one culture versus another culture, what's welcomed, what isn't welcomed. I would say everything from the second you get over the line into a new country, everything's different.
Yeah, that's a pretty good experience, though. I mean, I don't know. That is quite a challenge.
It's a hard one to crack for me, definitely, because you just feel like you've just figured out one country. You think, right, I'm ready to get into the next one, open a new office, and then you basically forget everything you ever knew. Yeah. And you've just got to start from scratch.
So did you feel like you were the one making the adjustment? As in, absolutely. You were adjusting the way you were for them.
Yeah, I almost gave myself whiplash with it. It was insane. It was crazy. Literally, like one day I'm one person, and then the next day you've got to completely shift the jokes that you'd make that would be okay in one place that wouldn't be. Yeah, that's one you don't want to get wrong.
That's true, actually. Yeah, you don't think about those things.
It's wild.
Similarly, I had to adjust my accent when I moved over to England, because Dublin people generally speak really, really fast. And because I was working as a receptionist...
I'm dying to say potato.
I luckily didn't have to say the word potato at all. But I just had to adjust how I spoke. So I understand the cultural thing resonates with me because of that. And I do speak much slower, and like my sister sometimes say to me, it's as if you're trying to describe something really complicated that you're, because when I'm with them, I speak much faster, and my friends notice it, so they know that I adjust the way I speak here. So I get that cultural reference.
I'm the same.
From the other side.
Very interesting.
When I'm up north, I speak very differently to how I speak down in London. Yeah. You kind of change. It's like you've got a professional voice, and then you've got a hanging about
your mate's voice. Yeah.
Where nobody could understand you. Yeah. What about you, Charlie? Have you come across something complex that's challenged you during your career?
Yeah, most recently, actually, away from the day-to-day operation side of things, we took on brand new client.
Right.
And we had a short turnaround period on that.
Oh, in terms of the mobilisation? Exactly
that. Really? So it was a case of trying to ensure all the compliance was where it needed to be, and we got that sent across. Occupiers, details were, again, sent across, set up. Yeah. Setting up contractors. It was a bit of a logistical nightmare, but it's one of those things you can now look back and say...
Then, really. Exactly. Trying to get everything in the right space.
Yeah. Exactly. But we can sit here today, look back at it and think, you know what, we were given X amount of time, and you know what, we pulled it off. We done what any FM would do. You just put your head down and crack on and
solve the problem and sort it out.
And I think then you learn from that as well.
100%.
You learn the best way to do it the next time, and the best way not to do it the next time.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There was mistakes along the way. It happens, but as you say, you can pinpoint
That's being
those.
human, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
I don't care who you are.
No,
if you're a human being, we all do. None of us are infallible.
Yeah, it's not even about mistakes. It's just about you learn a different way to do it for the next time.
Exactly.
And you say, well, actually, we fell down on that bit. and next time we'll do it this way so that we get it right, you know.
And that's why we have our processes and procedures in place.
Absolutely.
It's all P's.
Exactly.
I remember the name, Business Continuity Plan.
Yes, BCP.
Yeah,
Love a business. I have to write about them all the time.
We had to literally start that, I think, on the 23rd of December or something. It was mental time.
Oh, that'd be crackers.
Yeah.
To be fair. Was your Christmas ruined?
I was definitely on call.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was in Ireland. I go home for Christmas every year.
Yeah.
So, I was like making phone calls, asking the guys, you know, security guards, making sure that the guys who were working over Christmas on that pipe work were looked after.
Yep.
I left, you know, cakes, biscuits, and made sure that everyone was sorted, you know, before I left, because I just felt really bad for them.
Yeah.
And again, it was nothing we could do about it, you know?
Yeah. But that's interesting, though. You know? But that is the life of an FM, isn't it? You know, sometimes things go wrong.
Oh, a lot of times things go wrong.
Yeah. But it's about how you. I mean, does it take a certain kind of temperament as well, guys,
I think
to be able to?
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with a lot of different moving parts when something goes wrong, aren't you? You're dealing with the client, the contractors, what's actually gone wrong, how to fix what's actually gone. Is that a skill set that you think you all kind of naturally had, or do you think maybe you've learnt it?
I'd say we naturally had it, but we've probably developed on those skills with the experience we've had over time. I mean, you need to be cool, calm, and collective.
Yeah.
As soon as you ounce any doubt or worry, that obviously portrays onto those you're speaking to. So as long as someone can come to you and you can say, yep, you know what, leave it with me. Give me an hour. I'll go out and sort it out.
Yeah.
It calms them down, calms the situation down, and 9 times out of 10, you get resolved pretty quickly.
Are there any things where you think, oh God, I hope that doesn't happen? Like, is there like one thing where you're like, I'd never want that to happen in one of my buildings?
Yeah, and I never want there to be a sprinkler head ever go on ever again. Ever.
Is that part of every risk assessment for you now?
Like,
every time you go on a floor, 0 focus.
Well, every time I went into another building that had sprinklers, I'd say to the contractor when they're carrying around a ladder, because that's what set it off the last time. Yeah. I'd say to the contractor, you have made note that there's sprinklers, yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, no. Well, I'm just saying your ladder is very tall. And then I explained to them that I've had this happen before.
And it was a challenge to resolve.
Yeah.
To be fair. Okay. Quite. That's very, very interesting. So if what do you think where do you see FM going in the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you see the industry changing?
I think it's got to be technology.
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how do you think technology will impact the industry?
It will certainly, it's already creating an impact from a sustainability perspective, for example, with building operation systems, you know, that are like iBoss systems, that sort of thing, that are pushing us to drive down carbon, you know, plant running times to be changed based on, you know, what these systems are picking up the information.
Yeah.
Data, you know, from buildings is very, very important, not just for knowing about what we're using, but also our clients, you know, and our occupiers want to know the data itself. They want to be able to report on that. They want to be able to show their investors. They want to be able to show that what they're using day to day. That's just one part of the technology, but it is going to, like, I've heard about, you know, cleaning companies that have sensors in toilets where they know how many people are going in and out of the toilets. Yeah. They know then that they can send someone, you know, to check supplies in that toilet. These are simple things that will actually help, you know, running buildings better. It's technology, as you said. So
I think data is a big one. Data is key for us. The more data we've got as an individual, we can have those conversations with our occupiers, our clients. Yeah. For example, cost. If people are trying to drive down cost, we can deliver them with the data we've got from the building, and we can justify why we're doing what we are within that building, service charge wise. So it's a massive help. Yeah.
So like cost versus efficiency versus data, and coming to a decision off the back of the data that you get via those efficiencies.
Yep.
That was a mouthful. What about AI?
I think AI and automation together
Yeah.
Be a huge difference already. I read something on LinkedIn the other day, which I thought was really interesting. And it was something along the lines of, by resisting AI and all of these, I don't need a robot to do my job for me, we're at risk of sounding like the people that said calculators would ruin maths.
Yeah.
And that email would never catch on. And that resonated with me so much.
You want to have a calculator with you wherever you go. That kind of thing.
This is it. And I thought, it's so true.
Yeah.
And I get the resistance, particularly from some of the older generations surrounding AI. But also I think it's one of those things that's integrated into our society so much already that it's not going to go anywhere.
No.
I use it daily.
I love that she just said I use it daily, because I literally have had to teach myself what I need AI for.
Yes.
So probably, and that this is a generational thing for sure. So I was skeptical. And like, I know that I'm already using it, for example, in the likes of Alexa and, and Siri and things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely into technology, always have been.
Yeah.
But I was just so behind the eight ball, I kind of need somebody to say, no, it really will help you.
Yeah.
And so I've had somebody send me like a link, and then that's kind of helped me learn more about it and how it can help me day to day and just in life.
Yeah.
So and I love the fact that we both have different ways of thinking about it. Like she's saying she uses it every day.
So anyway, in episode 1, guys, I actually got very excited about AI, which you'll see if you ever watch it, in terms of how it will impact jobs, automation, in terms of robotics and, optimists like Elon Musk. And, I think I'll get a different response per group that I ask this question. But how do you think it'll impact jobs? Do you think certain jobs will go by the wayside as a result of AI? Because I used to think it was a tool. But my attitude towards it has changed slightly over the last 12 months. So I'd be interested to find out what you guys think.
I think as long as we lean into it, it will make our lives easier.
Right.
I think it just increases the capabilities that we have, the time that we have to focus on the things that otherwise get pushed to the side because we're so bogged down and always in the weeds with it. Can never sort of take that time that you need to really focus on strategy and how to improve and all of the rest of it, because you're so caught up in the day-to-day.
Yeah.
That I see leaning into it, accepting it, embracing it, whatever you want to call it. I just see it having a massive positive influence. Like
I said, it's new to me. So I agree, because somebody else said exactly the same as what she's saying, is, lean into it.
Yeah.
You need to give it a go and try it and see how much it can save you time. I don't think it's going to get rid of any FM or building manager type roles, because we're always going to be needed to be on site, to be present, to be visible, to, reassure occupiers. I don't think AI is going to be able to do that. I think they want to see a person. Yeah. However, if it helps us get more work done and helps us, achieve more in our working day, then what's not to like then?
Yeah, that's what.
But I hope I hope I'm right in that it won't actually, we won't lose jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think, Charlie?
Well, I'm intrigued to know where it's going to go, because I'd say we're still in the early stages of it, and who would have thought 3-4 years ago we'd be sat here saying you can put something into a chat engine and it'll spit out a perfectly good email to go out.
Yeah.
So, who knows how or where it's going to end up. So it's exciting times for sure. But as you say, if we can, it's going to make our lives easier, then all for it.
Yeah. Will it kill us?
Well, let's hope not.
No, but will it? Is anybody concerned about that element of?
No.
You mean like an uprising?
Well, I mean, like
zombie apocalypse.
Well, like a robot apocalypse. You don't know.
As long as you're nice to it.
As long as you're nice to it. You know what I mean? But what if they got to the point where they were so much cleverer than us, that they viewed us in the same way that we view, for example, an ant?
good question.
One to think about. Yeah.
That is.
We're getting deep, people. We're getting deep.
Yeah, this is quite deep for you, Mark.
I know.
But then would we view an ant the way that we do if it was 10 foot tall? Do we just view an ant?
Like it.
But this is
I wouldn't be hanging around going, hello, mate.
AI isn't going to suddenly sprout legs and be a massive object.
Well, I mean,
I could be
if
wrong.
you look at what Elon Musk is doing with those optimuses, I don't know if you've seen them, but they can pull pints. They can do anything that we can do in terms of movement and things like that.
It's a bit like that Will Smith film.
Yeah, I Robot. Yes.
Yeah,
where they all decide to throw us in cages.
Whoever came up with that film was kind of ahead of their time, really, weren't they?
Yeah. No, I think,
it was quite an interesting look into the future for that one.
But the other thing, in your personal life, maybe it won't affect business, but maybe you'd have your own personalised robot at home that cooks your tea for you before you get home. And, would you not have that?
No.
I would all day long.
No.
I'd send them out with a lawnmower and all that stuff. Crack on, do all the stuff I don't want to do. Pick the cat
maybe someone to do the cleaning, but I think I'd like to cook my own meal. But
really,
cleaning.
Cleaning.
Sorry.
Robotics in cleaning's a really interesting one at the moment.
Yeah.
I found one, or not found, I had a demo of one come into one of my offices, and they can open doors, go to the lift, call the lift via Bluetooth, go into the lift, down, open the next door, but they didn't have arms, so I don't know how they opened the door. But they could definitely call the lift, is the point, right? Yeah,
that's
insane.
mad.
Yeah.
So it's basically R2-D2.
Essentially.
From Star Wars, in essence.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting where it's going to go. I think I've said this before, because the internet things, in terms of how the advent of the internet changed how we do things professionally over the last 25 years. It's taken a while, hasn't it? But then if you look at what AI may do, I just think it's going to do everything a lot quicker. I just think it's going to be really interesting. Has anyone heard about the alien invasion that's apparently happening in November? Just to chuck something really weird out there.
No.
And nobody heard about the Comet 3i Atlas?
Aliens.
No.
No, not aliens?
No.
I like aliens.
I know you like aliens. I've heard all about it.
No.
No? Nothing at all?
No.
Yeah, so if it's not FM, you don't want to talk about it, do you?
No. I'm waiting for you to tell me the story.
Oh, no, I'll tell you in the pub. It's not a story for the podcast.
Okay.
To be fair, I watch some really weird stuff online. So.
That's all right. We all have our own, interests outside of work.
Yeah, we do. Anyway, circling back.
Oh no.
Tell us the Rex story.
Oh gosh.
And then I think after that will be a good time to finish, guys.
Okay. So I was managing a building at Monument.
Yep.
I had it from PC to full.
Yep.
So I had 12 empty floors that all had to be fitted out at different times.
Yeah.
And at one point I had 3 or 4 floors all fitting out at the same time. So it was a very busy management piece for me.
Yeah.
Different contractors on every floor, on those 4 floors, and, just a lot of labourers, a lot of different contract, types, all doing, different levels of fit out and all at different paces along.
Yep.
Got in the lift one day and was coming down from one of the upper floors, and 2 young labour guys got into the lift and asked, they were chatting away among themselves, and I heard them say, we must ask, we have to key the lift off after 2:00, and we have to ask Rex permission. And I was in my head, I was thinking, do they mean Ross on reception? I really hope they don't.
Rex?
I'd really like for them to get his name right. So I'll say something. So I said, oh, do you mean Ross on reception? They were like, no, we have to ask Rex. Her name is Kirasaurus Rex. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, right. So I said nothing and got down to the ground floor, and the doors opened. And as we were getting out, I just said to them, listen, guys, I said, just let me know when you want to key that lift off. I'm Rex.
Yeah.
And their faces just dropped. Like they looked like the ground was ready to open them up.
Yeah.
And, about 10 minutes later, the project manager for that floor came to my desk with a bottle of Lauren Perrier pink champagne and said, I think you know what that's for. And I said, I do. But I said, what I actually want to know is, did you make the name up or did they?
Yeah.
And he was like, I have to go. And so, and apparently I found out afterwards that because all the labourers were all on lunch, like from all the floors, they were all calling me Rex.
Keosaurus Rex.
And
that's brilliant.
it was, it just showed me that, I remember telling my dad the story and he was like, well, it just shows you that you were doing your job properly. Well, they were all running scared.
And they respect it. Clearly, there was respect there, clearly.
Because they were like, well, we can't key off the lift after 2 o'clock because Rex just says no. Yeah. So, So I tell my friend, I have told my friends this story many times and they call me Rex. Yeah. If I get a little bit bossy, they go, calm down, Rex.
Oh, well, so will I now.
Yeah.
To be fair.
So that's the story.
Well, that's a great story. Anyway, guys, a little bit of homework for you. All right, when you leave. Your goal over the next 12 months is to get called after a dinosaur because of your rash from an FM perspective at some point, yeah?
Give it a go. Yeah,
give it a go. See
Challenge
how you
accepted.
Yeah. Charlie Saurus Rex.
I've been called worse. I'll take it,
Try Zoetops or Zoetops. Try Zoetops.
Look at you. Look at you.
I'm full of these things. This is good. Anyway, guys, that brings us to the end of episode 2 of the Facilities Management Exchange. Have you all enjoyed it?
Yes, thank you.
Very much.
You have all been absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for coming in.
As have you, Mark.
Oh, cheers. Thank you for coming in, sharing your stories and inspiring the next generation of facilities management professionals. Well done.
Brilliant. Thank you.
All right, guys, that's the end of episode 2. As ever, if you can't be good, be bad. See you next time.